it's Marie at Lost Arts of Nature. Hope you're all doing well. I thought I'd make a video today about our garden plans for this year. So it's about all things gardening today. It's really snowy and icy and cold here. It's freezing actually. In fact, I think it actually is about -2 outside at the moment, and it's lunchtime on Saturday. So I'm going to film this bit of the video in here, and then I'll head out in a little while. I'll wrap up nice and warm and show you out into the actual garden, just to show you around out there really. Basically, last year we tried to grow a little bit of food, but we had so much to do with the house and so much else going on, you know, with uncovering the land and just clearing and preparing the land really, and unfortunately a few trees to fell as well where they've become really dangerous. So not that much actual gardening happened last year, but I'm hoping this year will be different. Let's hope. I've got some notes in front of me today because filming is not my comfort zone, especially when the camera's pointing at me. So I find like I need notes to just keep me on track so I don't go off on a nervous tangent. So yes, we're hoping to grow a lot more this year. We grow everything organically, but we're not certified organic. But we do our best to keep everything, you know, as organic as possible. We don't use any chemicals or fertilizers or pesticides or anything like that. And we don't necessarily subscribe to any particular gardening philosophy, although we take bits from different kind of people who we tend to like. One of those people is Charles Dowding and his no-dig philosophy, and there's quite a few different elements of his style of gardening that we've tried in the past and we've had positive outcomes, so you know, why not keep doing those things. I did a little chat about Charles Dowding on the Patreon this week, so yeah, if you haven't caught that yet, check out our Patreon page for that. You know, a lot of what we are trying to do here is produce as much of our own food as we can, and as you know, we are increasing the chicken flock at the moment. As you'll have seen on Facebook and Instagram, you might have seen like the pictures of the incubator that I've put up there, and actually I can see them just over there. They're in the workroom here with me, keeping me company. And yeah, we're hoping to have some chicks bred from our own flock of chickens, and so increasing the flock then. That's for eating the eggs, but also for the meat as well. I was asked on Facebook this week, you know, what would you do if you ended up with loads of cockerels? And the fact is that we do eat meat, so they will most likely end up in our freezer. I know that's a sensitive topic and hope that doesn't offend anybody who follows us. Just know that we give our chickens the best life and also the best death as well that we possibly can, and we're very sensitive to the fact that to the fact of life and death, and we try to do things as respectfully and with as much dignity as we can, and we don't take for granted that something's given its life for us to eat. As it is, we are meat eaters, but we only buy meat that's locally produced, and we buy direct from the people who have looked after those animals. So we try to shop, you know, very high welfare. It's kind of like a logical step then to produce our own where we can, you know. Yeah, and just know that those chickens, those cockerels, will have a very good life here. Yeah, so trying to produce, well, we produce all of our eggs now, and to try and produce a percentage of our meat as well is a big goal for us this year, as well as fruit and veg, you know, and we'll be eating most of our own produce. I can't see us selling any produce in terms of fruit and veg, but I do plan to sell plants on the Honesty stall, so if you're local you'll probably see in the spring I'll be putting out some vegetable plants and maybe some fruit bushes and things. We'll see how we get on with that, but that's the hope anyway. Also to mention that we will be investing in some beehives this year as well, to produce our own honey. But I think our plan is to go into that venture quite gently. We've got absolutely no experience of beekeeping. Jem is learning so much, and I'm sure he will be a fantastic beekeeper, but it's going to be a long journey of learning, so we're probably going to get beehives this year and just establish the colonies first, and then we'll look at producing honey next year. Yeah, so basically we've got some quite big plans for this year. Like I say, we'll see how we go with it. Hopefully we'll be able to achieve most, if not all, of the things on our list. But we're working on developing the orchard, which will be down by the river, and that will be mostly apples and pears, but we hope to have some cherries down there, some plums as well, maybe some other bits and bobs. In terms of kind of tree fruit, I'll be creating a fruit cage up on the top terrace then, which is kind of over in that direction, and that's going to be a lot of blueberries, but some black currants and red currants as well. I also need to revamp the strawberry bed, because me and Emmy created a strawberry bed last year and it got completely overrun with brambles and nettles, so I'm going to need to do some work on that and revamp it this year. And then we're going to install a polytunnel and a cold frame as well, and both of those things I'm going to document and create YouTube videos so that you can follow along with that. Should be good fun. And there's a lot of work with the polytunnel because of the nature of the land, and I'll probably talk more about that when I take you outside. So that's all the projects that we've got going on at the moment. And I just thought I'd do a quick run through, and it will be quite quick, of the seeds that we've got for sowing this year. So I did a big order just before Christmas with a company called The Real Seed Company, who are based here in Wales, and I got some really lovely seeds from them. I love that they use all paper packaging, and the designs on the packets are just really lovely. Oh, where's the camera? There. Really nice. So what am I going to say about seeds? I'm going to say that I've got loads of things that I'm going to be sowing. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to just reel off all the varieties here, because I think it would be a bit tedious to watch. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to run through just quite generally what I've got here and tell you some of the more unusual things. But then what I'm going to do over on Patreon this week, so it'll be this coming Wednesday, I'm going to publish a list, a complete list, almost like a directory of all the different seeds that I'm going to be, that I've got from Real Seed Company, and kind of detail what, which ones they are, so that, if you're interested in exactly what we're growing this year, I can provide that for you. And just incidentally, I'm going to also try and sketch out a map of the garden, so that if you wanted to see, like an aerial view kind of map, just think, if you're wanting to kind of go deeper into what our garden plans really are, then head on over to Patreon, and that information will be there for people who want to kind of go deeper into that. So we've got a lot of kind of just quite run-of-the-mill things, like we've got some salad, I've got, you know, broccoli and dwarf French beans and cauliflowers and all those kinds of usual things. We've of course got leeks and cabbage and those things that grow really, really well in Wales. For obviously cabbage, providing you can keep your butterflies off of them. I've also got some slightly more ambitious things like sweet corn, which I'm hoping will grow outside in Wales. I've seen other people grow sweet corn here, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to too, but I will have the polytunnel if not. We're quite big into our edible flowers, so I've got some heartsease seeds. I've also got borage on the land already, and we've got some nasturtiums in here too. Two things that I'm going to also try this year is some drying beans, because something we eat quite a lot of is dried beans. And I've got two varieties here. I probably am not going to say that right. The Xar beans, or maybe it's just Xar beans, I'm not sure, but these seem really great. You can eat them fresh, or you can harvest and dry them and store them, so I'm going to give both a go. And then this one, it sounds really cool, it's called Jacob's Cattle Gold, which is a bean that you can harvest and dry and store. So I'm looking forward to trying those two out. And then I've also got some poppy seeds, and these ones you can collect the seeds and then add them to breads and things and cakes, which I will definitely do. I love poppy seed bread. This is one that I've never tried before, because it's called an Asturian tree cabbage. So I decided to try that one because we eat dolma, which is like wrapped vine, you know, it's vine leaves, and you make a filling and then you wrap it, and that's because Jem is Cypriot Turkish, so that's his heritage, his culture, so he's used to eating dolma. We don't have a grapevine here as yet, and so I thought I would grow this tree cabbage in the hope that we can use the leaves to make dolma. And he also, another thing that Jem really likes is popcorn, and that's just because he likes popcorn. It's got nothing to do with being Turkish Cypriot. But I thought these ones were cool because they're called Glass Gem and he's called Jem, so that was, you know, a little link, but also that they're rainbow coloured, so I thought that would just be a cool thing we could try and grow, so I'll let you know how they turn out. So, and we've also been saving seeds. A lot of the veg and fruit, in fact all of the fruit and veg that we eat is organic, so I've been saving seeds from things like butternut squash and things in the hope that we can grow some vegetables that way as well. So that was just a really brief run through seeds. So yeah, just like I say, check out Patreon if you want like a full detailed list of exactly what we're growing. That information will be over there, and I'll put the link in the description below. So I think that's probably all for this bit of the filming, and I think what I'll do now is I'll head outside and I'll talk you through the different places on the land where things will be happening. And I think, yeah, I think that would be a good way of kind of showing you exactly where things will be going. So I'll see you outside. So as you can see, it really is frozen out here. There's snow and ice today. So just to kind of put this in context, so here's the house, here's our track, and over the other side of the track is the river. And the orchard that I was talking to you about will be all along the side of the riverbank here and kind of up this slope slightly. So that's the plans for the orchard. I don't know if you can just see down there is the apple tree, and we've got a pear tree just around the corner. So I'm not going to take you down there because it's slippery and cold, and there's really not much to show you, to be quite honest. It's just an overgrown bank. The reason we're putting an orchard there is because it floods quite regularly in the winter. The river quite often bursts its banks, and an orchard just seemed to be the most sensible thing to put there. I think I mentioned earlier that we're going to be moving the chickens, so I'll just briefly show you the new chicken house that's in construction just behind the the shrub there. So this is the new chicken house here, and they're going to have a beautiful view over the river. I'm not going to hang about because it's freezing. I'm going to take you up to the top terrace, which to give you some perspective. So there we have the house again, and the vegetable gardens run down there, the other side of this laurel hedge. So I'm going to take you up there now. So walking down the side of the house here, this little flat bit here, it's very rare to find a flat bit here, and this bit will be eventually used for the greenhouse, but it's where I'm going to make a temporary cold frame, which I mentioned I'm going to document and post the progress of that on YouTube, so I'll keep you up to date with that. And then down this path you'll be able to see the polytunnel structure, which is serving at the moment as a chicken run. I really hope that wind isn't creating too much noise on the microphone. There's not much I can do, it's just really windy and really cold. This is a raised bed that we've created here just by moving the earth around basically. And this is actually the hazel hurdle fence that I made last autumn, almost finished, and the pathways that we've been putting in because it was just so hard to walk around down here on a 45-degree slope in the mud. It was really difficult, so I've tried to put in level pathways. This will all be vegetable beds along here. The polytunnel, where that polytunnel structure is, will be the polytunnel, but there's a lot more work that we need to do before that happens. So the chickens need moving down to that new house I just showed you. Then we need to actually take this structure down, level the ground out some more, because although we've done a lot, it needs more work doing to it, and then we'll need to then put the frame up properly. So that's quite a big undertaking, and once we've taken this structure down, I'm gingerly making my way over here to show you the oak tree that's right in the center of the screen right now is leaning really dangerously out of the rock face. In fact, I'm just going to go and stand over here because it's moving about in the wind so badly, and we need to bring that tree down. Unfortunately, it's just too dangerous to leave. So the order of works will be move chickens, take this structure down, take the oak tree down, then prepare the groundwork and put the new polytunnel up. So it is quite a lot of work. Oh, it's really chilly. I'm going to make this quite brief, but I just want to show you up onto that terrace there, which is the next terrace up. That will be the fruit cage that I was telling you about up there, and that will have blueberries, black currants, red currants, raspberries, that kind of thing. And just in the distance down there in the corner is the strawberry bed that I was saying we need to revamp, so that will be another project. So from a very snowy outside scene, I'm going to go back inside and get warm. So I hope you enjoyed seeing out on the land. It's so cold and snowy out there, so I'm going to warm up in here now for a bit. I'll probably go and stand next to the Rayburn for the next half an hour and thaw out a bit. Yeah, so thanks for watching the video, and if you'd like to see future videos then subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to follow along on our journey you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and come over to Patreon where you can find a lot more information about what we're doing here. And also, excitingly, today I launched a Pinterest account. account as well, so you can now find us on Pinterest as well. And in all of those places we're called Lost Arts of Nature, and I'll put all the links below in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.